Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again for the match preview between Southampton and Newcastle United at St Mary's tomorrow night, and it promises to be a cracking game for the first leg as well. Kick off at 8 o'clock p.m. I've got two guys with us tonight. I've got Rolly as usual. Rolly, good evening to you, mate.
Good evening, John. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening.
Good evening to Ryan as well.
Good evening,
I
John.
hope saying Southampton fan as well, and welcome to the show as well. And guys, if you like the video and you like what you see, then please have to honor to hit that like button. It does boost my channel to go well. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, give it a subscribe as well. It's going really well. And if you like super chat, is open, so click on that as well. And just give what the channel's worth. And if you like to become a member, the link's on top of the chat. It's just 99 a piece. So I'll just go through the comments as well.
Just before you do that, John, if people like the show, share it on your socials as well.
Thank you very much indeed.
Exactly.
Thank you, Rolly. I appreciate that. Thank you so much indeed. And that helps us out as well. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. And we got terms of comments finding as well. Do keep them coming. Thank you. I'm here. That's a True City fan. Quality content, Johnson. Thank you, Ian, as always. Big up to Paul Robson as well. Big up to Tony. I hope you enjoyed your stadium tour at Adair. I hope it went out really well. And I was due to get in the Peterborough in 3 minutes after a great stadium tour. In that tune, I will share that live at 9 p.m. tonight. We will look forward to watching that, Tony. And thank you very much indeed for that. And also, I hope you had a fantastic body time. John, I want to give place to Jen Sparkle like we used to in the 90s. If Andy Gordon is what they're going to bring in, wow, it's time watching Murphy, but worse, what a waste of money. He won't score. That is the thing. I'm sure we're going to come back to Anthony later on as well. Difference of opinion there as well. Big up to I Like Coffee. I hope you're okay. And don't want Gordon. And also, hi, Tony, how's the stadium? But it'll be on the show at Anit on this channel, so check him out for that. And big up to Paul as well. Why are we linked to Gordon and Tomine and not to Trossard and Casidos? That's a very good point.
Well, Trossard's gone to Arsenal.
On to Arsenal, exactly.
Yeah.
And Casido.
It's learn that one, mate.
We're not going to pay 60 million quid yet. I don't think we're going to pay 60 million quid for Casido.
No, we're not.
He's a class player, class that.
Yeah,
really
but
is.
60 million's overvalued for where he is now. The 60 million price tag is for Todd Bowley, so he can pay them 70 for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, evening to NUFC Apple. Hope you're okay, mate. Good evening, lads, to Gary D. Already at St James's Park for the semi-final second leg. Yes, I got my ticket today, and which is fantastic. Second leg, that is, by the way. It was brilliant coffee jumping at 9. And top 10 battles. Evening, gents. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine, mate. And
Andrew.
And I hope you're fine. And John, let's start finger going for Tete, for Leon. He's the kid we need. 21 years of age. Great talent. He is a great talent as well. He used to be
Remember, we were linked with him last year.
Yeah. Some player, and he's quick. He is really quick and he's skillful as well. Right, I got some breaking news as well before we go straight on to the preview. Frank Lampard, if anyone knows, has been sacked by Everton Football Club. I'll start with you quickly, Ryan. Are you surprised Everton sacked him?
Not really, no. I think it's delayed. I think it could have been done months ago. I think, especially when they lost to Bournemouth in the Cup. I think they did a draw to him a few days down the line at the weekend. I thought that was probably, and you could just see that the players just didn't want to were just, the fans, the passion was there, just didn't want them. And I think what the board come out and said about how it's not his decision, I think it is your decision. You're the owner. At the end of the day, you know, it's not for the fans to decide, really. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we're going on to Rolys' comments in a bit. I'm sure Todd Burley watches John's streams. I tell you what, if he did, then come on me show, Todd. Come on me show, please, and explain yourself. How to get tickets, John? Got Todd used on Twitter for criticising the ticket system and getting on the website early. Look, I know people are kicking off this sort of thing, getting punts and that sort of thing. In my opinion, I mean, it's been on for years and years. There's nothing you can do about it, you know, but also as well, I just got on the queue. I waited 20 minutes to get a ticket, by the way. So I don't know if it's sold out or not, mate. I don't know. So it's just online. Just do it online. If you've got a season ticket, should have done today. If you haven't got a season ticket or a member, it's going to be so difficult. So for me personally, if you can't get a season ticket, get a member's ticket. And then you got a better chance of getting a ticket in the future. Big up to Brian, by the way. Big up to Gav Cooper as well, by the way, as well. Even to Davey, glad you got a ticket on me. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. That's for me. That's makes me laugh. Eddie stated he doesn't want McTominay, so why are the papers making stuff up? Eddie said in full interview, he is not a target. Exactly. I do not want Scott McTominay anywhere near my stadium at all, whatsoever. Even guys regarding Anthony, I'm not happy about it to him. His liability, short fuse. We don't need a temperament sport, but in our squad, that's an Allen. And Top Battles, thank you very much for your donation. £1. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. And any kind of money is well appreciated. Thank you so much indeed for that one, my guy. Big up to Riley, NUFC YT. Hi, John. What's score predictions for tomorrow? I'm going to give you the score at the end. I'm going to get in early. I'm going to say 2-0 to Newcastle if we get it right. I'm excited. Brian, no sleep team, lads and lasses. And Ken, big up to Ken, by the way. Hope you are, mate. I'm so excited for tomorrow night. Was at the last League Cup semi-final against Spurs and the final against Man City 76. So I waited a lifetime for this, mate. We got to get to the final first. If we do that, we'll be over the moon. Question for Ryan. Get your questions in for Ryan as well, for the Southampton fan. Is this season Southampton shirt one of the best ones so far?
It depends, really. If you're on about the home shirt, I wouldn't say no. I say no, it's not. I think we've had some pretty good kits recently, but I think last year's one, I think the away. I like a good yellow away kit. Yellow away kits are nice. I think that's kind of that, as well as the red and white stripes, kind of symbolise us a bit, because I think back in the olden days we used to play in yellow away kit a lot. But regarding this home shirt, I think this season the best one's probably got to be our green one. I like our green one. The blue one's nice. I think when people first kind of, because it's new and it was kind of like out there, and I think people didn't expect it to be like that, and it was kind of like, whoa. But then you grow into kits. Like, I don't know how you boys feel when it comes to kit days. Like, it's kind of like you look at the kits first, you might think, oh, it's absolutely woeful, and then you stick it on a few times, you're like, actually no, it's actually pretty decent. Like, because a photo can mean anything, really.
I mean, your strip that your current strip that you're wearing reminds me of the kit that you guys wore in the late 70s, early 80s with Keegan and Shannon. It's very similar to that.
Because I remember back in 2017-18 when we had this, but basically kind of, I think it was kind of like this, but I think it might have been the other way around, with red on each side and white down the middle. Kind of, I remember. I think I had it in my drawer at one point, but this thing is just basically the same as that.
So in the days with Laurie McManamy managing you, and you had Mick Shannon and Kevin Keegan playing, it's very similar to that. Very similar.
Yeah, I think we kind of recently we've made it based about old kits. But that's
quite a good idea, that.
It's a good idea, but I think sometimes you need something new. Like, I think with us, I think if whoever asks about Southampton, you just say, oh, it's red and white stripes, not just one massive stripe down the middle. Then you got colour on each side. Like, it's just not us. But I don't mind our kit. I don't support a club because of a kit. I support the club because of who they are.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair comment. Go through all comments as well before we talk about the game. I just don't get to why we signed Bruno, Botman, Isak, all players who have a future, but Gordon is that he has the talent, but that's it. As when he was in the under-21 league, we are better going abroad. yeah, depends how much his cost is going to be. And let that one as well. Why is the screen so blue, John? Is it? I don't know, mate. I mean, it seems nice, but is my screen okay, guys?
It looks all right to me.
Does it? Okay, fair enough. Well, probably, I don't know what it is, Paul. I really don't. Just to the lights, by the way. I do apologise. Chelsea are still Justin Gordon. Let's hope they're going for him as well. Well, let's
I heard that as well.
Yeah, he wants to go to Chelsea, doesn't he?
I don't think Everton will get the 60 mil they were offered at the start of the season. I think you look at it now and you think, what were Everton thinking? If you just accepted that, you know, that's crazy money for someone. Yeah. No, they probably could have stayed up on that amount, but, you know, who knows?
That's Everton for you.
Exactly
that.
Rally, please hit the subscribe button, my guy, if you can. That'd be brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Where do you think both Newcastle and Southampton will finish in the Premier League this season? For me, I think we'll finish 4th. What about you, Rolly?
I think Newcastle finished 4th. I think Southampton, they'll either be where they are now, bottom or 19th. They've been pretty poor all season, to be honest. The teams I'd rather see go down than yourselves, but you've just not been good enough so far this season.
No, I absolutely agree with that. I think, you know, I was looking at the table the other day, and I'm thinking Newcastle could easily finish top 4. Like, it's no reason why not. You can't if you don't, it's down to yourselves.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, we're in the box.
With us, it's kind of like we are so, as you said, it's been really, really awful, like really, really woeful. You know, we started off the season. I can't remember who played first game of the season. I really can't remember. It's going to come to me, but I forgot. I said Spurs away. When James Ward-Prowse scored that first goal, I'm thinking, do you know what? This team actually might go on to do something this year. And then we got battered 4-1. I mean, with us, our kind of transfer strategy has kind of been like buying young, selling on for the future. But at this moment in time, we're still linked to we're still linked to youth players, but it's just not working. I mean,
I think you bought too many young players. You need a bit of experience as well. Some older heads with that. And I think
in defence. Yeah,
just about to say defence. Your defence is too young and too inexperienced for the Premier League.
I think buying I always butcher his name, but Kaleta, I think he was a good signing, especially for only 12 mil. I think it was. Bear money's Champions League experience. I think today we have recalled Bednarek from Villa.
Yeah, I've heard
of bring him back. Personally, I think the way he left us in the summer was very, very harsh. Because I think his exact words were, "I'm glad now to be joining a big club and playing for a big club." I mean, don't get me wrong, Villa are a bigger club than us. I think there are plenty of teams in the Premier League that are bigger than us. You know, you can say Everton are technically a bigger club than us. West Ham, teams like that, because they are. You know, you look at the history and this kind of just proves that they are a bigger club than us. But at the same time, I think it's not like he left permanently. He's literally leaving on loan. And I think him coming back has kind of put like a 50-50 into the kind of fan base because, you know, I think the way he left it's like spiteful in a way. But I think, one thing that has annoyed us, and probably the reason why we are going to get relegated this season, is because we have no striker. It's as simple as that. I think it's more than obvious. Che can't score to save his life. He kind of holds the ball up and everything. Adam Armstrong was a risk that hasn't worked out. Mara is still kind of progressing well, but it's kind of not ready yet. And when Danny Ings left, it's kind of like we needed to replace him. We got Broja in for a season. Broja done well for half a season, maybe 3/4 at the best.
But then he went back to Chelsea.
And now he's gone back to Chelsea, and it's kind of like it was in the summer, we were linked with Gakpo for 35 mil. Apparently we were close to signing him, even though he said he was close to joining United or Leeds, I think it was at the time. It was obvious after the summer we struggled so hard to score goals the board should have been on it straight away. Come 1st of January, we would have had a signing, a striker straight for the door, ready to go. But no, it's
You could have had
baffling me
Chris
how
Wood.
I would have taken Chris Wood. That's the thing. Like, I know you boys slate him, and
Well, some
you
of
know,
us
yes,
Some of them.
he hasn't performed well for you. Yes, you can clearly see that. I think it's kind of the pressure of knowing that you're coming to, because when he joined you, you had no kind of.
No
You had
striker.
Callum Wilson who was injured. You had Wilson who was injured,
Mm.
and he's coming to join a club that is battling relegation. I mean, yeah, albeit he's doing it with Burnley, season and season out. But I don't know. I think because it's the pressure of, because St James's Park, I haven't been there, and I ain't going now this season. But I think it's not the most kind of welcoming place, is it? It's intimidating, not just for away players and away fans. It's because you all love your club, and I think it's kind of carrying that on his back and just kind of like with Che, for example, if he has the time to think about a chance, he'll fluff it. But if it gets put on a plate straight away and he doesn't think about it, he'll score. It's the same with Chris Wood. I've taken him here because he's a clinical striker. At the end of the day, he's proven it with Burnley. But I'm so slow to react.
And to be honest, we didn't play to his strengths. So,
oh no!
But he did a job. We got a great deal from Forest for him. His job was to keep us in the Premier League, and he did that. He only scored a couple of goals, but those goals led to 6 points.
Exactly. Well, go for some comments, by the way, guys. Yeah, and then we're going to go straight on to the match tomorrow. Imagine Gordon's same dressing room with Trips, Shah, Botman, Pope, and after he picked the fight with Tripp here. Good luck with that one if he does come. Big up to Alan, even to you. Do you remember Rolando Aarons? He has the talent, but won't flop. English talent has to show consistency. They're ready for the pressure, and Gordon has flopped. Or give up Everton. I think he should stay at Everton, to be fair, in my opinion. If he wants to go to Chelsea, that's up to him. Go for Harvey Barnes, same money. Injury prone, that's the thing. Talented, but injury prone. I like him. Bigger to Sefton, who's, by the way. Question for Ryan. When we played at St Mary's last season, what was with the parade and the dog mascots before the game?
I don't know. I think at the start of last season, we started doing like this kind of this, obviously the brass band would then kind of play like When the Saints, but to kind of get everyone singing along. I think it's when I started off, I thought it was really cringy. Like I thought there's no need for it. Because it reminded me a couple of years ago when we all the Saints, I think it's 16, 17 on the Pure, and we kind of met all the Saints players recorded their own song and like all together, and they kind of played it before every match. I think it wasn't needed. But I think as time went on last season and we had that little good run between Christmas and January, I think it kind of picked everyone up and everyone was going along with it. But I think in a way it's kind of embarrassing because no one joins in as much anymore. Like I try to, like, not gonna lie, I do anything to kind of get the atmosphere going, but our atmosphere is fucking next to nothing. It's shit. Mind my language just all, but I think I'm probably one of the only few Saints fans that can sit here and admit that Portsmouth is better than ours. Everyone's is better than ours. It's woeful. Like we rely on Itchen North and Northern to kind of sing, and that's about it. But at the same time, I think it's not helping. I can understand that comment. I think it's a bit cringy. I still don't like it in a way. But at the end of the day, I think about the mascot and the dog, I think because every mascot's like it, and it tries and gets the kids kind of, that's what their job is. That's what kind of a job of a mascot, really. It's trying to get the kids kind of into it because, especially if the kid's going to his first game, and it might be a bit intimidating, it's not gonna be for everyone. And my personal opinion is I'm against it, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair comment. We need 8 homegrown players in the squad. If you get rid or not so bad ones, we need better ones. That's in Davey. Exactly. What are your expectations of Orsic, Ryan?
Honestly, I've only watched him a few times, and every time I've watched him, he's absolutely disbanded English clubs. And I think it's kind of, with Orsic, he's brought in his experience. I think our kind of philosophy was if we were to sign anyone over the age of 27, it'll be if they're good enough, or if they've kind of got somewhat of experience. Because with Orsic, he brings Champions League, Europa League, masses of international experience. And I don't even know why he's not starting. How he starts ahead of people like Elia Nusi or in fucking Adam Armstrong, for God's sake. Like, these are people, this player has proven he can do it in the top levels. It's time we give him a chart. I've rated him highly, and I think I was surprised when we signed him, to be honest, because dropping from Champions League down to a team that's bottom of the table, fighting for our lives, I think it's a big risk, because no doubt if we go down, they'll be gone again in the summer. I don't want to think about the amount of players that will leave in the summer. I don't want to. I dread to think about it, but I know for half of those young players will stay because it'll probably be their level. We've got a championship squad. Our squad is so woeful. I think you got the odd few players who are kind of. I can probably sit there and probably be like Kyle Walker-Peters, James Ward-Prowse, probably Coletta Chark can probably get into a Premier League team. Those three players are probably the only ones I could say are Premier League players. The rest, I think, are Championship. I think with Ralph done a fucking brilliant job. And I know that it got all sour towards the end of his reign, but he done so well to keep us in the Premier League with what was a really, really small budget. And he had to work around it. And I think it didn't work out in a way. And I feel sorry for Nathan Jones in a way, because he's been brought into what has been a club that's been in trouble for the last 4 or 5 years. And I really feel sorry for him. But at the same time, I think if we do go down, we have to keep him, because one, you've given him a long contract, and two, he'll probably do well in the Championship because he's used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You've got to give him a chance, do you know what I mean? I mean, he's on a long contract. Back on Orsic, I think he's a cracking player. He's a finisher. But I hope he doesn't start tomorrow, though. I'm going to say that. But you never know.
To be fair, our cup teams, I don't understand what's going on with us. Like, we can go on to beat Palace in the cup, beat Man City in the cup, but we struggle against. I mean, I wouldn't even say we struggled against Villa. We were fucking robbed against Villa. May I just fucking add? I think, but we were shit against Everton, and we ended up to scrape a 2-1 win. I think I don't care how we win. It's 3 points at the end of the day. 3 points is 3 points, but the last thing you want is corrupt referees, because I know you guys have dealt with it a lot this year of how poor refereeing has been. I think it's just not us. It's a Premier League standard of officiating is woeful, and it's done us in throughout the weekend. So.
The one thing you've got going for you in your relegation battle is that you may be bottom, but you're only 2 points away from 13th.
That's it. That is it.
This season, no one's been cut loose.
Oh no, I think that's the only. Like you said, it's the only thing going for us. But at the same time, I think it's kind of the whole team needs to be together, and I think we proved that against Everton, Man City, and Palace. But it's easy to think that how one result can change everything. I think we beat Palace. We had the confidence to then go and beat Man City. And then we had the even better confidence to go and beat Everton. I mean, albeit being a scrappy game, but I'd rather have a scrappy win than lose.
Yeah.
I think anyone would if you're in our situation, And regarding to Bazunu, so I'll just sort of comment at the bottom, I think he's kind of coming from a League One team, who I don't want to mention, to then come to the Premier League is a massive, massive, massive risk. And I think for the money we brought him, that's kind of him basing it off what it'd be in a few years' time. I think this season we have conceded about 60-odd goals, and I think kind of probably 20% of them have all been his fault. Because especially against Brighton, I think Lallana's header, it went straight into his gloves and it went through his hands. Like, I think he's proven don't get me wrong, he's had so many good games where it could have been 4-5 without him in goal. But at the same time, it's 50-50 with him. I don't understand. He can have good games, he can have shit games. It's like every keeper. I don't know why. I mean, we signed Bazunu for the same price you brought Pope. I don't understand why we didn't even try. It's worth, because look at what Pope's done to you. You haven't conceded in like 11 games or so in the Premier League or something like that. It's stupid. Because he's a good keeper.
We got a cracking defence in front of him as well. And that's
Yeah,
the problem. That's the thing. So it's down to your scouting network, Ryan. It's not being great. You know what I mean? And by the way, I would have kept Ralph, by the way. But there you go.
Just a quick one on Nick Pope. Apparently, since he's been playing in goal for us and we've gone on this unbeaten run, he's completed 3 PhDs in War and Peace because he's had so little to do during the games.
Well, when you got kind of that basis in front of you, you don't really have to worry about it that much. But with us, I think we've now gone into this formation of playing like a 4-2-3-1, and I think it's trying to find someone to partner Lavia, because I think with Lavia, he's a cracking player. I think he's been probably one of our best signers this season, and I feel sorry for him having to play next to Diallo, because Diallo is less said the better, really. I mean, I think because pushing Prowsey forward, I think Prowsey is probably the best person in our team to be the more of the attacking midfielder, because he likes his passing range is stupid when he can be asked to do something. And I think, I think most people are saying, "Oh, he's only a free kick merchant," but I've been watching him. I think I had my first season ticket back in 2016. I've watched him all these years, and he's improved a lot. I think Ralph coming in has improved him a hell of a lot as a player. I just don't think he's captain. I don't think he's captain material.
Fair enough.
I'd say this countless times.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
let's go to some more comments sort of thing. Do apologise there. Please hit the like button, subscribe as well. I've got 41 people watching live. Thank you very much indeed. Please do follow Paul67 and also Ryan on Facebook. So Ryan Bishop, Mr. B. So Mr. B. Who do you think you signed this one? For comment on one later on, Riley, because you've got 500 comments. Chris Woods, greatest of all time. Hope he does well. Or buying 15 mil. It's a no from Alan from Gordon, but a yes for Cordy Alvarez. And leads Fulham to draw tonight with Tottenham. I hope so that's the case. Oh, Fulham beat Spurs later, but a draw would be good for Southampton. I will take a draw at that tomorrow, because then we have the home match at St James Park in second leg. Big up to Sean, by the way. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're okay. And Fulham to win from me. They won't threaten for the top 4. Big up to Jules as well. Good evening, Jules. Hope you're okay. Jules and Hoots people. And question to Ryan. Other than free kicks, what does JWP offer? You just explained that, didn't you?
Yeah, I know that kind of well. He's my best mate. And we have this conversation all the time. I think with James Ward-Prowse, I think other than free kicks, he's kind of like a box-to-box midfielder. I think I can see where you're coming from. I don't think he offers as much. But at the same time, I think kind of when you come to free kick situations, other than corners and indirect, because he's been woeful of them this season, it's kind of like, what else can he do? It's hard for him to offer as much when the tactics are just wrong all the time. But I don't know. I think under Ralph, he started off so well. He'd start picking the ball up and start kind of pinging them kind of yards. But I don't know, this season, I can't judge him for this season because every player's been shit. So,
yeah, fair enough. We'll fly for this as well. Foxy, I hope Southampton stays up. It's best if you just play the kids smart and focus on the FA Cup and the Premier League.
I agree with Foxy there.
Yeah, I do as well. Yes, they'll be far tomorrow, Andy, mate. They'll be far tomorrow. And someone said that Pope as well, clean sheets and goals against us, Davey. Yes, that's true.
That's mad.
One thing I would hate is coming home with a 0-0 draw tomorrow, lads. Well, we need to score, I think. Then getting our homework.
It wouldn't be a terrible result for us, a 0-0 draw, because they're coming up to St James's Park. Now, if it was the first leg was at St James's Park and getting 0-0 draw, that would be a bad result.
Oh yeah, I remember speaking to John. As soon as the draw came out, I was like, I said to him, I was like, if we were to do anything in this tie, it would have to be done in the first leg. It has to be done in the first leg for us, because going to St James's Park, it's like I said earlier in the video, it's a intimidating place to go. It's hard to kind of get results out of such a kind of, because as I said, Newcastle fans and Geordies all together just love the club and everything about the club, and it's hard to kind of, I think any away fan, because you guys are clever, you put the away fans right up there, so it's hard to kind of get any sort of kind of, it's just hard. I don't see us getting anything. I was meant to be going to it as well, but I'm not now, so it is what it is.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Before we go on to we've got to talk about the FIFA after this question. Our Salisu was linked to us in the summer. Is he good enough for the top 6?
I don't know what team you support, Frederick. I'm sorry, but I think with us and Salisu's been another one this season where it's been kind of, he's not consistent in his performances. On his best day, he's a good defender, and I think he can be top 6, but not now. I think him in itself is probably best playing for someone like, I don't know, Fulham or something, who's kind of like in and around mid-table. Mm-hmm. I just don't think he's too good for us, especially on a good day. I mean, I was there last season when we drew 1-1 with Man City at home, and it's kind of like the tackles he was pinning on De Bruyne, for example, was mental. Like, I think he is probably our second best defender in the whole out of our club, but we haven't really got any defenders that are kind of good anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So
fair enough. Okay, cool. We are the draw kings, but Southampton won't part the bus, so we could win. And plus, Wilson is annoyed, and that's good for us and bad for them. Let's go on to the preview. Newcastle Southampton tomorrow at St Mary's, and for you, I'll ask you as well, Ryan. How do you think Nathan had to set up this team? Would he play like a diamond 4-3-1-2? Would he play 2 hold midfielders tomorrow? I mean, Bednarek is back as well, by the way, from Villa.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bednarek starts tomorrow. I really wouldn't. I think Nathan Jones has been saying that all ever since he's come in, we are in need of experience, especially at the back. And I think as much as Bednarek's kind of made mistakes roughly all the time with us, I think he was probably one of our most experienced centre backs. And I think Bednarek probably has more good things about him than negative. But I think, like I said earlier, I think the way he left for us for Villa is woeful. And I think it's kind of, it acted like he left permanently. But in regards to the way we're going to probably set up, I would not be surprised if he changes anything and probably sticks with a 4-2-3-1.
Do you know if he's played many games for Villa?
I think he started 2 games. I remember Gerrard's last game against Fulham. He came off at half time. And I think he's made a few I think he's made a few sub appearances. I don't think he's played much, hence the reason why he's coming back. Because obviously we're in need of experienced centre backs. We're struggling to find some. You got someone out on loan who's not playing much. You might as well bring them back. You know, at this moment in time, I think for us it's kind of like you might as well roll the dice and go for it, because there's no point in kind of sitting back. I don't see us certainly parking the bus. I think with us,
I don't think he will. I mean, I think
that suits us as well.
100%. If you come at us, we'll just pick you off real quick. And if Bruno gets on it, then I guarantee you he'll find spaces for your back four as well.
I've always said, Connor's watching the chat, and he always loves winding me up. But I said, no matter how much, you're certainly favourites going into this whole kind of tie. It's more than obvious. But at the same time, it depends what team turns up, because you could put out your best team and you could struggle to pick passes about. It's like with us, we could put a worst team out and still kind of, pick you apart in a way. But it all depends on who turns up, because at the end of the day, I love that Bruno. I think Bruno's a fucking brilliant player. I think him. I think I used to slag off Joe Linton a lot, and I think he's certainly kind
We
of.
used to slag him
I've-
off a lot. You're not
Yes.
alone there.
I've said I speak to my family all the time about things, and I think Che Adams would suit going into like a Joe Linton role, because Che Adams can somewhat pass the ball, and he's kind of big as well. So it kind of, but obviously Joe Linton is now playing on the wing, I believe, which I think is good as well.
Yeah.
I think he's one of them players who has certainly kind of flourished under Eddie Howe in a way. So
yeah, we'll find out which way he's going to play tomorrow, Joel. I'd love to see him in midfield personally, but if he plays on the wing, he plays on the wing. It's not cleverness, especially the away fans, where they are due to logistics and geography of the stadium. Easier to keep them separate and get them out off to the coaches on Barrack Road quickly. Yeah, that's very true. 2-0 to Newcastle. Southampton's getting in early. If this was at the Dell, we'd definitely lose. Hated that stadium. Never did well there. We've got a shocking record, Blake. You really have been. Shocking stadium. And yes, Sefton, yeah, I know you like 8 pints, 2 packets of salt and vinegar. Good for you. So, Rolly, how do you think you're going to set up the game tomorrow? Will Eddie put the same squad? Can you see any changes tomorrow?
I mean, he's been pretty consistent in his team selection. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start with the same side as we did against Palace. I would like to see him make a couple of changes. I would like to see Maxi start because he's only been playing sort of 20 minutes. And the first 10 minutes of those, he's not seeing the ball. And when he has got the ball, he's sort of scaring the life out of the opposition defences. So it'd be good to see him on from the start. And who he replaces, possibly Joe Willock. We'll move Joe Linton into midfield. And then I'd like to see Isak start. Maybe play 60 minutes and then bring Wilson on for the final 20. Just give Wilson a bit of a break. But I think ASM's his performances over his cameo roles and just most of this season, to be honest, so much improved from last season. He's become much more of a team player, and he's actually looking for people rather than trying to do it all himself. So I'd love to see him get 90 minutes. Yeah. And the good thing about it being a 2-leg semi-finals, if we get it wrong at St Mary's, we can put it right at St James's Park.
100%, man. Because the thing is, right? I mean, I'm not being funny, right? But we got to go there and be confident. You know what I mean? We've been there once November. We've done a number on Southampton. Yeah, I can't say any reason why I can do it again. But I'd like to see Isak start, in my opinion, right? I mean, I'll back Eddie who he picks, but for me, I think Callum needs to rest. I'm bringing in Isak in the squad as well. Don't change too much of it, man. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's, for me personally, I don't think we'll get beat. I really don't think we'll get beat because our defence is absolutely fantastic. It really has. But we need to create more.
I always have a little chuckle to myself when people do predictions and have the opposition to score. No one scored in 11 hours. What makes you think they're going to score in this game?
Exactly.
It's going to happen at some point. Someone's going to score against us. But we've been just so dominant at the back. It just lets you have a little chuckle because all my predictions are to nil for us.
Exactly. I mean, I'll get Arsenal fans coming into us and say, you know, like they're gonna hit 3s and 4s and 5s sort of thing. Yeah, didn't happen. Man, new fans.
That's was it Lottie and is it Alan or Andy that came on the show before the Arsenal games? They're going 2-3-2 and 4-4. I said it's going to be either 0-0 or 1-0 to one of us because both defenses. Because we've got a really good defence and their defence isn't bad. Exactly.
But they've got to put the respect on our name. Anyway, imagine Southampton fans are delighted about the Alcaraz signing. 30.5 million is a real bargain, but will you get the chance to shine when Southampton in a precarious position? He signed from Racing Club in Argentina, I believe. And do you know a lot about this kid?
I don't really kind of pay attention to kind of outside of the top 5 leagues. I mean, I think mostly no one does. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of kind of talent come from Argentina over the last few years. Like, you've got like Julian Alvarez for Man City. You've got other kind of South. Sorry, carry on. McAllister, yeah.
Alexis,
I think it's a risk. I think I've seen kind of loads of racing club kind of supporters have said he's a good player, but at the same time his attitude apparently is poor, which isn't anything you kind of need, especially right now.
No.
But like I said, I'll happily roll the dice at anything right now, just to stay up. I don't see it happening, but I would love to just anything, just someone. I think I still don't think Nathan Jones is the right man to keep us up. I really don't. I like him as a person. He seems so passionate. Like, I'm watching him on the touchline recently, and he's kind of like proper like out of his area, kind of. I think it's his first Premier League job, and I think he's been chucked in the deep end. And I think that personally, if we go down, it's always best to keep him, because then you've got someone with somewhat of a championship experience. If we go down, right, and we pump in, I don't know, 20 mil or something, 20, 30 mil into kind of getting championship-based players, I don't see why we can't come straight back up. But at the same time, you've seen it with your rival, Sunderland, that it didn't happen well for them. They've only now started to slowly come back up. It's the same with Portsmouth. Portsmouth have been stuck in League One and League Two for the last 10, 12 years.
The last time you got relegated, it took you ages to get back into the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it took us nine long years.
Yeah.
Nine very long years.
It's a difficult league to get out of, because when you look at the teams in the Championship, the majority of them have been in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah, no.
At some point. It's just it's a dogfight. Because the games keep on coming, and there's not much difference between the middle and the top and the middle and the bottom. It's really hard to get out of.
Absolutely.
You got to look at the likes of look at the likes of Leeds United. They've been down there for like 20 odd years. I mean, God forbid it. Like, oh yeah, Forest. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, Forest. They haven't been.
Ipswich as well.
I mean, Oldham are going out of the.
Oldham's gone out of the league as well.
Did they go out of the league last season, Oldham?
They did. Oldham did in the conference. So
yeah,
that's not.
And they were in the Premier League 25 years ago.
Absolutely.
I personally don't see us getting out of this dogfight. I really don't see us getting out of this bottom three. If we do, I'll be happy. It's a miracle. I'll happily take a miracle right now. We just need luck. Luck is the main thing, because I think it happened the 2017-18 season. We sacked Pellegrino and got Mark Hughes in. And I think everyone was kind of like, he got sacked at Stoke last season. Is he really the right bloke for us? Rah, rah, rah. We went on, we beat Bournemouth, and I think it was us against Swansea. And I think Gabbiadini scored that goal that night, and to keep us kind of all but up. And I think that's kind of the luck you need. But trying to gain results out of this team right now that is kind of mid-confidence, it's kind of going to be hard.
Yeah.
But as I said before, the saving grace is that you're only 2 points away from safety, plus a load of goal difference. But it's going to be a dogfight till the end. And it may be a case of you picking up the odd draw against teams you're not expected to win that can make the difference.
Yeah. I don't see us getting any results from our next 3 games. I really don't.
Who are you playing?
Well, we got Brentford away.
Yeah.
And then we've got. I think we've played 3 away games in a row. We've got Brentford away, Wolves at home, Chelsea away, then Leeds away. That's 4 games, but I don't care.
That's tough. Those
Wolves,
tough games.
Wolves is the one you need to win.
Wolves and Leeds. Get a point out of Leeds. I'll do anything for a point against Leeds. I think Chelsea are kind of one of those teams that are, if you turn up right against them and you set up right against them, you could easily get a goal and sit back. Brentford, I don't see. I'll
You
see
know what?
Brentford
You know what it
smashing
is.
us again.
You know what it is, right? You need to get those wins as well. If you don't, I think by February you could be in dire straits, mate. You really can, Ryan. So
it's the teams around you need to be beating. Like beating Everton was a big win for you.
But the thing is that it's proven the last 3 years we can't beat teams around us. We can only get points out of teams at our top 6. Like I think last season City didn't beat us once. We lost and drew to Arsenal. We drew to Man United twice. We lost and drew to Chelsea, I think, or we lost both times. I can't really remember. But it's teams like that we can get points out of. It's like we only rise for the big moments. It's not the case. It should be a team that's battling. It should be a team that's kind of fighting to the end. I haven't seen that the last few years, personally. I think the 2 9-0 losses, I was there for one of them. Obviously, the other one was behind closed doors, but I think we are a club that's been surviving this for the last 4 or 5 years, and I think this year is going to be the year that bites us in the arse.
Well, it's going to be touch and go, but if you get enough points, you may stay up. Who knows? Holly, big up to Holly. People, I haven't heard from Holly for a long time. I hope Holly is fine. Thank you so much, Holly. It's great to have you back on my stream, so I hope everything is well for you and your new career too. Jules, if you say hi to Holly, and love John's concentration. Thank you. I do smile a lot though. I'm at work. Well, I'll go to work. I do smile while I'm at work. I'll be told, don't smile. And I still smile. Thank you, Jay. ASN needs to start this game. He sure does. The mighty Steve Bruce for Everton. I hope that is the case, people. Oh, my God. It's Holly.
He's going to be retiring, isn't he?
Yeah, but
call it a day.
I said Bruce to Everton so he can finish the fantastic job that Frank started.
Yes.
Yeah.
He should be linked. Evening, guys, from Catherine. Hope you're okay, Catherine. But never been so nervous as bad as this. It's going to be a tough game. I don't think it'll be a 4-1 again. I don't think it will. I honestly believe Southampton have enough to skip relegation and Everton will be gone. And Newcastle done it like Southampton, Aston Davy. Suddenly found it easy to get out of the Championship. They nosedive straight into League One. Sunderland fans, what are they like? Saying that, bigging them up and say, oh, we're going to get back in the Premier League. That's no problem. Next thing, League One for 4 seasons. Goodbye. And just is Davy as well, chatting to Davy. And wow. Going for Foxy. Southampton have half a chance to get straight back up if relegated, just for having so many talented young players. They got some young players.
I think on that one, I think personally another one is to keep hold on for next season and be Nathan Teller. Because I think he's playing for Burnley right now and he's probably I think there's I was watching it Friday when he scored. And I think they're saying he's Burnley's joint top goal scorer in the Championship. And I think Burnley are. I've seen rumours that Burnley are trying to get him permanently, but I've also seen rumours of us trying to get him back on loan. I said, there's no point getting him back on loan because all it's going to do is the situation we're in is just going to damage his not just only it's going to damage his potential, his development, his morale. I think staying at Burnley will suit him well. If we go down, you've got someone there who's been in the Championship the last 3 seasons. You know, you've got Che Adams and Adam Armstrong there, probably were two of the most lethal Championship strikers over the last few years. You know, so I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens, how he does at Burnley. Big issue, they have a common lack of experience. Own outfield player is Theo Walcott, and he is 31 years of age. Klopp to Everton. I can't say I'll have anytime soon. Thanks, Jules. I appreciate that.
They'll welcome him like they welcome Rafa if Klopp went to Everton.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that? I think Everton will accept Klopp. I really do. But who knows? Well, Southampton play on the counter-attack. What areas will Southampton look to attack us, Ryan?
I really don't know. I think with us, we kind of try and we've slowed. I think every team at the moment will kind of want to slow the play down. But with us, we're two. No one moves in our team. Like we had the ball playing around the back, and no one makes moves. No one makes runs. So personally, I don't see us doing anything to you. But most of the time, I think my ideal thing would be for us against you. It's because Trippier's not that fast, is he? Let's be honest. I don't know who plays left back for you.
It's Dan Burn.
Dan Burn, he's not the quickest of lads, but he's got those legs. Those legs that kind of, you can be as slow as you want.
And those disco moves.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on them bad boys. I'm gonna head out at the nightclub on Saturday. But I think if we could play Orsic tomorrow and Gineppo, I think we could easily outpace you. But it's just because they're both such good defenders. Trying to get past them is the next thing. It's all good having pace, but getting past them is the hardest thing about it. But I think, to be honest, we will try and win free kicks. That's just our honest way of seeing it. I will not be surprised. We try and win free kicks, get Ward-Prowse on them, and that's probably about it, really. I don't see us attacking, being any threat to you whatsoever. That's just my opinion, just by basing off seeing us this season.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. So I'll give you the latest team news I have here. Okay, that they said the Netpro and Orsic are hoping to recourse tomorrow. And also as well, I find out what's going on with your team news. Ryan, be quick as I can. It's a bit slow. And
I know a few players that are out.
Yeah, it's an ABK. Bella Kotchap, Alex McCarthy and Theo Walker are nearing returns from injury. I don't think they'll be playing tomorrow, by the way, if they're nearing returns. But Mislav Orsic and Musa Gineppo will hopefully recourse after defeat against Aston Villa on Saturday. As for Newcastle, I think it'll be Isak could be starting the game tomorrow, hopefully in place of Callum Wilson. He's been out of sorts at this moment in time. I do apologise for saying it. But at the end of the day, right, it's going to be an unchanged team as well. Let's go to some more comments as well. Sorry,
just quickly on that base.
Yeah, please.
I was saying this to my mate, Connor, and at the time when I was speaking to my brother, Paul, I was saying that I don't see much in Isak, to be quite honest with you. I think plenty of people over in Spain have said he's probably got to be one of the most inconsistent strikers they've seen. But at the same time, he does it. It's like, I'm trying to think, kind of trying to compare it, but I know it's not going to be the same type of position. But let's say Ward-Prowse, for example, when he's on it, he's on it. It's the same with Isak. When he's on it, he's on it. Because I think you boys are robbed against Liverpool in a way, because his second goal was onside. Oh, it was his first goal. Don't really bloody know. Second one. But both of those goals were class finishes. And you can see you've got yourself a good striker. But it's just trying to keep him consistent enough to kind of help you banging those goals.
I mean, we can't grumble so far because he's got 3 goals in the 5 games he's played in. It's
a good return, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens tomorrow there as well. So it'll be an exciting game tomorrow. Goes to comments. If Matatis still playing, we could lose this Cup St. Final. He always scores wieldy goals against us. He sure does, doesn't he?
He's too busy believing in aliens. That's why.
Wow, I'm saying nothing. It's out of order. Fans buying tickets and send them for double their value. Makes me mad. That's man. You know what it is, Sefton? You know what it is, Sefton? Right? If I couldn't go to the game and I want to sell me a ticket, I'll sell it at face value. I mean, I think it's a couple of years ago, I bought a ticket. He's going to pay 5 times for it. And I said, look, mate, I don't want more money. Just pay the face value. That is it. I don't want any more. That's it. You know what I mean? Simple as that.
I remember seeing...
Yeah.
Sorry. On that situation regarding selling on tickets, I remember seeing a photo of one of your fans, or so-called fans, as I'm going to call him, brought a season ticket just to sell it per game. Like, sell off a season ticket per game. I think he was selling it for, like, I don't know, 100 quid or so. And I'm thinking, like, you're an idiot. Like, I think anyone is scum enough to buy, scam, anything regarding football tickets is an idiot, in my opinion. Because people want to go see their team. Well, unlike us, we can't sell out a fucking barn door at this rate. But especially in Newcastle, I've never seen that stadium empty at all. Otherwise, then when you were going through your bad period with, obviously, I don't want to say his name, but is it Mike Ashley, or you're going through those stages or being relegated to the Championship. But even in the Championship, you still sold out your ground. It's mental. It's because your fans just love football in a way, unlike us.
Yes, we do. We do love football, and I tell you what, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just our life at Newcastle United. Do you know what I mean? We love football at Newcastle, and it's a religion, and religion, if that's the word I'm looking for. Burnley be backed by religion. That's the word. Sorry. Burnley be backed by Botman and Joe Linton. Saka tried and he couldn't cope, or we dealt with him after 20 minutes, no problem. Field plays Southampton, and Foxy, Foxy's always free kicks. That's from Jane Prowse. Actually, Southampton can be dangerous. We are ready and alert at all times, Jack. We are indeed. So we're coming to the end of the show, or nearly the end of the show. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a close game. It kicks at 8 o'clock, and I'll be there. So Ryan, if you give us a score prediction of tomorrow's game between Southampton and Newcastle, how do you think this game is going to go? Where is the game going to be won or lost?
I think if Newcastle are going to win it, it's going to be something like it was back in November, 3-1, 4-1. It's kind of going to be one of them games where, like, we can't touch you or be anywhere near you. But I think if we had to have any luck, I think personally would have to be kind of the how we played against Man City, in a way, where we scored 2 early goals, 2 class goals, may I just add, in a way, and kind of sit back. It like Coffee saying now, the reason you would lose to us is if we score and just sit back and defend. I mean, I think we've proven in the last 3 games, but like against Man City, if we sit back and defend, we're actually now better defensively. Well, we haven't been, we're shit either way, but I think it's kind of like, either way, I think if we can defend, we can defend, but it's hard. It's going to be a close game. But if you boys turn up like you did in November, you'll wipe the floor with us.
I was hoping we get those back again. I know. And we've got some comments as well. We read that if they score early, they defend for their lives and feel like first leg we nil each. Got to feeling we win it at home. If we get a draw, right, then we've got to do it at home. We got to win at our stadium at St James's Park if we are to win the tie and get to Wembley. Rolly, what do you think the score's going to be, mate? Where do you think the game's going to be won? And also, right, can we do this?
Yes, we can. I think it's going to be. It's not going to be 3-4-1 like it was in November. We're going in a bit of a slim patch for the goals, but I think if we get one early or midway through the first half, we'll come out 2-0. It won't be easy, but it'll be comfortable. I think if we play St Maximin, I think it's going to cause their defence a lot of trouble. It's a high press because we press so high and so well. That's where we'll cause you the problems because you've got the ball at the back. If you say you've got no one making runs up front, you're going to be passing it around the back, and so Miggy or Joe Linton or more probably that's going to nick the ball off you in the final third, and then that's where we create a lot more chances.
I think at the same time, I think if we were clever enough to realise that you kind of sit high up, and not knowing you've got the fast kind of centre backs, because I mean, don't get me wrong, your defence isn't the fastest, but they're good at what they do. I think if we kind of leave, let's say Orsic and Gineppo, and maybe, I don't know, who's playing up front, Mara or something, on the halfway line, just to because you know what Adam Armstrong's like. He's not exactly the slowest people, is he? Like he's rapid. I think he can't finish to save his life, But you never know. It's the magic of the League Cup, as I like to call it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking Southampton lightly, but I think the thing over the last few games where we've struggled to score, it's not been through lack of creating chances. And that's why I'm still quite relaxed about tomorrow, because we will have the chances to win the game. I'm confident of that.
Yeah.
Whether we take them or not, it's a different matter. I think it'd be 2-0. A 0-0 draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world, but obviously I would prefer
to win at your ground.
I prefer your scenario where we win 3 or 4-1 so the tie's over before we come back to St James's Park. But I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But it'll be a tough game because you're a Premier League side, and all Premier League games are tough. Unless you're playing Everton. I had to get that dig in. And at the end of the day, you're going to be up for it. You're not going to turn up and just say, "Oh, you can go to the League Cup, the Carabao Cup final." Just turn up. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to play to win the game.
Exactly. I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to say this like it's going to happen because it ain't more than likely. But it might come to a point where we beat you 2-0 tomorrow, and we kind of keep you back so much. Obviously, I know the crowd's going to be behind you. You're going to be all over us for 90 minutes. But we might get that one chance like we did back in, I think it was back in 2017 when we got to the League Cup final, where we obviously, in this case, we haven't got Shane Long, but someone runs down the other end from your corner and scores and makes it 3-0 or something. You just don't know how anything's going to go nowadays. It's football. But I know for a fact, you're obviously, I don't want to sit here and say, "Oh, Newcastle fans are cocky that they're going to smash us because rah rah rah." You're clear favourites. It's proven in your league position and your team that your favourites. I think every Saints fan is not going to hide away from that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, if we do lose 2-0, you know exactly what we got to do. Can we get the 2 goals back? That'd be very interesting.
Oh, yeah,
we're capable of doing it. We're capable of doing it. Yeah. It depends how Isak does, and if ASM is up for it, Miggy's up for it as well, we could do it.
The only thing I'd say about your hypothetical 2-0 lead for Southampton is that in the 20 league games we've played and all the Carabao Cup games, only 2 teams have scored 2 goals against us. That's Liverpool and Man City.
That's it.
Hey, it's the first time for everything, mate. It's the first time for everything.
There's three if you include Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup, but we've conceded 11 goals this season.
One against us, may I just add?
Yeah. One against you. It's a good goal as well. It was a garbage goal because the game was won, but it still counts. But that's the point. I mean, I think it's unlikely that you'd score more than 1 goal.
I'll take 2-1 and wins at the end of the day, mate. I don't care. It's a trick.
I know you would. I know you would.
I think personally, if you win this whole tie, I don't see why you can't go on and win the cup. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
you're not scared of Man United at all.
We've still got to get past you.
Exactly. Same if Nottingham Forest might go over to United. No one knows.
We don't win the game because we've got better players and we're playing better before the game's kicked off. We've got to perform on the night.
Turns up. Yes, who turns up.
It's all about on the day. It's all about on the night. We've got to perform on the night. And then
it's like when we came back from the World Cup against Leicester. That game was over essentially in 9 minutes when we were 2-0 up.
Exactly. And if that happens, then it's game over. Anyway, we were ruling that.
Yeah, I mean, John will know this. I've been saying for months now, if we go 2-0 up, it's effectively game over because I'm not sure that anyone's going to score 2, let alone 3 goals against us.
It just won't happen. Not this season.
It's just the way we're defending at the moment.
Cocky. We're defending so well. We've got the best league defense. We've got the best defense. We conceded less goals, 11 goals our season. That's in the Premier League. Good shot for the Wednesday game would land at St Mary's and win it for us. I hope it does. I think playing them back to back is an advantage to us. Also, I'm glad we got the away leg first. Great show, lads. Thank you, Gary D. Our defence may not be the fastest, but we make up for it with situational awareness. That's a flipping good point, Isla Cup. Flipping good point. Big up to Anthony, by the way. I've got guys to win a Carabao Cup, and let's hope that is the case. For me, what the score you said? 2-0, did you say, Rolly? 2-0.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you said the same,
I didn't mean to try and depress Ryan there with how good our defence is, but you've got to remember, we're Newcastle fans and we're not used to having a defence this good.
Exactly. It's the best defence I've seen as a Newcastle fan. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Because you defend properly.
Same with me, and I've been supporting him for 45 years, nearly 46 years.
Exactly. Exactly.
There hasn't been a better defence.
I've always said, guys, if you defend properly, you win the game. Simple as that.
Exactly.
We've got a nice spine as well in the team with obviously Pope in goal, Botman, Bruno, and then Wilson up top. So we've got a nice spine. And I mean, it's a big up to Sean Longstaff, who's been immense over the last few games. He just covers the ground and breaks play up. It's going to be an interesting game. I'd like to think we win 2-0. We might win 2-0. We might lose.
It's as simple as that.
It's a cup game.
It's anything can happen in a cup game.
Exactly.
I feel comfortable going into the game. We'll see how it unfolds.
Oh yeah, same. So do I. I feel so comfortable. We're flying. We're flying with all cylinders at the moment. We are, mate.
Yeah. I will be happy for 1-0 away when home.
I'll be nervous. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff.
8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow.
So I'll be nervous this time tomorrow, though.
It'd be tough. Listen, guys, going to wrap it there because it's gone past an hour. So thanks for coming on. And Ryan, where can we find you on your socials? I believe you're not on Twitter. Where can the guys see you on your social, like Facebook, Insta? So I could give you a follow.
Give me a sec. I don't know my stuff off by heart.
Ryan Bishop, Mr. B.
Funny and I run a kind of like I need to start uploading them more, but I run a kind of like a Saints fan page on Instagram, which is saintsfc.newsupdates. Otherwise, my normal one is big_Bishop98. That's one for
Fantastic. Thank you for your shouts as well. And Rolly, where can you find you?
You can find me on Poll 67 on Twitter. If you follow me, I'll follow you back.
Fantastic. And you can follow us on John Sinclair TV, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Insta, John Sinclair 50. And if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, it's John_NUFC42. I'll follow you back if you follow us as well. And I'm always on social media, so give us a shout for that as well. And then, guys, do join the Toon review channel, which is just under 5 minutes time with Paul, Billy, and Alex as well. Please join for that as well. Great guys.
Good watch.
And a very good watch. And exactly, and it's a very good watch as well, by the way. And thank you for joining and Wayne as well. And saying see you next time, lads. And we said keep joining the stream right at the end. We'll get in early then, Geordie. Get in early, man.
How weird, man.
How weird, man. So, guys, good luck tomorrow. Let's hope we do the business tomorrow. I said Mary's tomorrow. It's going to be 2-0 to Newcastle. I hope we do the job.
Ryan, I hope you played well, but still lose.
Yes, I've got to say that as well. So
I hope you survive this season in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Don't go in. I'll have a quick word with you guys. And I'll go to the match tomorrow. So I'll be back for the match review on Wednesday. So please join us for that on Wednesday night around about 6:45. And thanks so much for joining, chats and guys. And until then, everybody backstage, it's a goodbye. And let's hope we do the biz.
Hope not.
Hope not, Eagles.